If you are new to the page, welcome. I'm Julie Samaco, owner of Southern Charm Wreaths, where we make beautiful wreaths and teach you how to make and sell them. We're going to be making a ladybug themed wreath, which is one of my favorite themes to be using. So we're going to be making that. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to attach a sign, how to make a bow, and how to develop your line for wreath making. Inspirational piece is this really pretty sign, and I'm going to go ahead and make one more bow. All right, so I'm just going to measure out about an 8-inch ribbon streamer to right here on my mat, and then we're going to pinch it in between my pointer finger and my thumb. So we're just going to pinch that. It sounds like a big old truck just drove up. I'm wondering if that is my supplies. Okay, if you want to put it down on your mat, you can. Sometimes you can measure from here to here as well, but it's about 12 inches. All right, so about 12-inch loop. Take it to the back, and everything is going to go into these two fingers right here. So we're just going to pinch it right there into these two fingers, and we have our loop. So you have the good side of the ribbon facing you down here, up here, but back here you can see this is the back side of the ribbon. So we're just going to give this a quick little twist so that the good side of the ribbon is also facing you. Lay this down, measure out the 12 inches and bring it to the back. Twist again, 12 inches, and bring that to the back. And we're going to twist. All right, so now this is what my bow is looking like. We've got 3 loops that they're really 6 inches from here to here, but we measured out 12 inches on our mat. And then we have our ribbon streamers. So here is that. I'm going to cut that off the bolt. I'm going to go ahead and add one more little streamer to the back. So everything is going into my 2 fingers. I'm not switching hands. And now we're going to switch this. Sorry about that's my dog Jasper. He has to cuss a little bit on here. He just, when somebody comes to the house, everybody needs to know that Jasper does not approve. So that was a 2.5-inch ribbon. I always use wired. I always use wired ribbon. But this was a 2.5-inch, and now we're switching it up to 1.5-inch. I'm going to do the opposite on this. I'm going to start it from the opposite direction, because if you notice, this bow has 2 loops above my thumb and 1 loop below my thumb, and now I want to reverse that, okay? So we're going to have to start in the opposite direction. We're going to measure these out exactly the same, so we're just going to do 12 inches. And then twist, 12 inches, twist, 12 inches, take it to the back, and then twist, and we're going to cut. So the more you start working with your bow, gradually that center will start moving closer to the palm of your hand. I'm just going to bring all this to the front. So you can see that we now have 3 loops above our thumb and 3 loops below our thumb, right? Just like that. I don't think I'm going to add another streamer. I can always add it later if I need to. We're going to find my florist wire. I'm just going to turn this over just like this. Lift up my pointer finger to get my wire underneath. All right, turn the bow around. And I'm going to check to make sure these are all even. And then I'm going to pull the loops towards my belly and the wire away from me. And then I'm going to twist a couple of times, just like this. So there's our bow, okay? So we've got 2 bows ready to go. I'm going to put this over to the side. Let's see where I want to put my sign. Am I the only one? Whenever I work with the grapevine wreaths, I always get an itchy nose. Must be allergic to them somehow. I'm just going to take this wire and feed it through my grapevine. Just like this. So I always wire my signs on to my grapevine wreaths, and you can attach wire using a heavy-duty staple gun. Grapevines are messy. So here we go. We've got our sign. Isn't that cute? Y'all, and then just look at how the ribbon coordinates with the ladybug on the sign. I love that. Here in the South, we are all about coordination and matching. Color coordinating and matchy-matchy. We like that stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to put this right up here. This one's going to go on the bottom, and I'm going to do another one on the top. That's why we needed the 2 bows. Don't be afraid to really pull your bow down into the grapevine. All right, so we've got the bow on the bottom, and now I'm going to add one right up here at the top. All right, we have our tails are a little long, but I always like to have the tails just a bit longer. So this is what your wreath should look like now. Isn't it pretty? You could stop right here, couldn't you? But we're gonna go ahead and take it up a notch, add a few more things. Let me move. I'm gonna go ahead and move and go to my wreath easel to make it a little bit easier for me. This is my wreath easel, and I just love having my wreaths vertical in order to be able to work with them. This is something we designed in our Wreath Making of the Month Club group. So this beautiful wreath turned out amazing. If you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a membership group. It's called Wreath Making of the Month Club, and every month we teach 6 to 8 new designs, and this is one that we just taught last week. Isn't it pretty? Lovely, lovely fall. It's just a little bit of a different color for fall, you know, not your traditional colors, but I think it turned out super pretty, very fun and festive. Get this up out of the way, or up on here, so I can get a good look at everything. And then now I'm going to start looking at my greenery. I just love greenery. Greenery to me is what makes your wreath. It really is. Greenery is so important in the texture and developing your line, coloring, all of the beautiful things associated with the, you know, the elements of design. So I love, love, love greenery. And most of the greenery that I use, not all, but most, has, it's a plastic. It's not like a plastic though back in the day, you know, like your grandma used to use. It's a different, plastics come a long way. It's not like aquarium type of plastic, you know, what you would find in a fish aquarium. And then do you see how I'm taking the time to just to go through and position all of these so that they are, you know, not so straight up and down. We want to give a little life to these. This one is a mixed greenery. It's so pretty. I love the brightness of it. So you have some that are the spiky leaves, and then you have some that have the fern added onto it. So if you can find greenery that has the multiple textures, it just really, really is pretty. It is never too late to start, but you gotta start. Let's see if I put that in there under enough. I may have to fix that, we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this one, I think. It's a little on the long side. So all I'm doing is adding my greenery underneath my bow. I'm dipping my stems into my glue pot. It's just melted glue. I've got instructions on using a glue pot also on my website, southerncharmwreaths.com. All right, so now I'm going to start working the bottom of the wreath. You see how all of the adding the greenery really does make a difference. I'm going to start working under the skirt of my bow. And you know, when you insert your stems into your grapevine wreath, you want to make sure to insert them at an angle. We've already discussed that. That's also on my website, southerncharmwreaths.com. So if you're new to wreath making, just click the Start Here link at the top, and we've got a lot of tutorials for you if you're just starting. Do you see it's starting to take shape? This is an elm leaf spray. I love this. This one stem, look how much it gives you. And this has got some amazing texture in it. Look at that. So we're going to go ahead and just divide. I use my wire cutters and just pull it down and trim, just to give us all of our little pieces to add. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to start adding these stems into our wreath. I'm going to zoom in just a tad bit more. All right, so let's do some on the top. We're just taking that one stem and dividing it up throughout our wreath. These things right here that came off of that same stem, I'm just going to save it. We can put those in last. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is switch gears. We're going to be using these really pretty poppies. Poppies are a great flower to use through the summer. This one bush just has so many stems on it, and to me they look real. You see how long these stems are? So they're going to be pretty long, giving us a lot of dimension. Once you have a bunch of glue up there, you know, sometimes you don't have to put a steel pick or a wooden floral pick, but just to get you started, you have to fill in a little bit of that gap that's in the grapevine. All right, do you see what I've done at the top? It's pretty wild looking. I might need to. So you can see how just adding these fun flowers make things go, just gives that little bit more of a texture and dimension. Okay, y'all, here is the flowers, and look, can we not just stop right here? You could. You could. Very, very fun. This is another flower that goes really well with red. So let's get some of these out. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this. Don't y'all just love this airiness? I love airy stems. This is called a tassel seed spray. This is going to add another layer of texture. Texture is super important when you're making your wreaths. And again, on this one, we are also going to bend and shape them. so that they spread out. I mean, it just opens everything up when you just take the time to do that little bit. Right there. Let me see if you can see the difference. Do you see up close the difference? Just adding another layer of texture adds to your wreath. We've added those seeded spray. It just adds a lot more texture, height, width, right? And now I can go through and add in my ornaments, and then I can also come back through and add in my other little pieces that we have left over. At this point, let me just show you. So at this point, if you like this, you can leave it just like this, right? That's pretty. Or you can add in the ornaments. So I always go back through and make sure all the glue strings are off, but I think y'all, oh, we've got our little pieces right here that we cannot forget about these. Turned out really pretty, don't you think? Super, super cute. It's just full of texture and fun. This will look amazing on a front door. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. You are a blessing to me. I hope I'm a blessing to you. I hope I inspired you to try something. Maybe you learned something here. I hope that was the case. If so, make sure to comment below and tell me what was the one thing that you took away from this tutorial. Let me know, because it definitely helps guide me in the next tutorial that I provide for you guys, okay? If you are watching new for the first time, make sure to subscribe and like my Facebook page. If you're watching the replay over on YouTube, to subscribe to me over there so you'll be notified the next time I do a live. And for more information about wreath making, go to southerncharmwreaths.com. We've got a lot of tutorials for if you're just getting started. Click the Start Here tab, but head over to our website, southerncharmwreaths.com. And again, that's where you can get the supplies, is where I've pinned it right here at the Greenery Market. And thanks again for the Greenery Market for supplying you guys, our fans, with a coupon code to get a discount on their free shipping. Bye, you guys. Have a wonderful week.